Howdy everybody and welcome back to the Game Team. Excited to announce this will be the last show from my college room closet. Very sad leaving such a premium recording room behind. There's been lots of headlines this past week, including some huge Zelda movie news this morning, so let's get straight into it all. One of the biggest stories of the last week has actually been centered around Subnautica 2. So, story setup time. Krafton acquired Unknown Worlds, the studio behind Subnautica, in 2021, with Krafton hoping for a big sequel. Apparently, the studio was promised a $250 million bonus if the game launched into early access by the end of 2025. Subnautica 2 had a delay announced to 2026 not that long ago, and out of nowhere last week, the three heads of the studio were all laid off. Bloomberg reported that the delay of the game was against the wishes of the leadership team and that this was Krafton attempting to avoid paying out the bonuses. Krafton fired back by saying that the game was not where it needed to be, and it seems there's a whole other story of the heads kind of ignoring the studio and doing side projects instead. And then there's also this other confirmation that only 25 million of the 250 million would be split amongst the development team, while the rest stayed with the three members of the leadership team. Who knows how this whole thing shakes out, but with the lawsuit on the way, there's probably a very long road ahead. It's great to see Krafton extend the $25 million bonus payout to the team by another year though, as a sort of apology in these trying times. Hopefully it works out for the team, who seems to be caught in this crossfire between leadership and Krafton, and as mentioned, Subnautica 2 is still set for a 2026 release. Cyberpunk 2077's patch 2.3, suggested to be the last major patch for the game, finally got its release date of July 17th announced. The patch will focus on vehicles and customization and is being mostly handled by Virtuos in collaboration with CD Projekt Red. There will be 3 new cars and a fully customizable motorcycle. These additions will come along with the new Auto Drive feature that lets you set a destination for any vehicle in the game to drive you to. There will also be the Wandering mode, which just lets you relax as your car drives around Night City forever. We received our first look at Street Fighter's Ken in Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Arriving later this summer, Ken will come with 2 appearances. His Street Fighter 6 appearance and an outfit based off his classic look. Ken won't be the only Street Fighter character though, as Chun-Li is still set to join the roster this fall. Rare is taking the time to refocus on Sea of Thieves following the cancellation of Everwild. In a broadcast last week, the British studio expanded on their plans for Sea of Thieves moving forward. The plan is to try and stop being on the back foot when responding to the game's community and get ahead on problems. To help with this, the game's insider program's NDA will be lifted. This will hopefully allow more players to share what is being tested and any possible changes that could help with the development. They also plan to bring even more content to the game. Next season will focus on smuggling and feature live events all over a 3-month period. This is something the team hopes to keep replicating moving forward. They also shared that private servers will be coming to the game with ways for players to curate their servers to their liking. The future is looking pretty bright for Sea of Thieves, and I wish the team at Rare the absolute best. Sony held a state of play focused on Ghost of Yōtei last week and shared some pretty awesome stuff. Players will take on the role of Atsu as she attempts to take down the Yōtei Sits, a gang that killed her family. The game will actually see Atsu's bounty grow as she takes down members of the gang. Speaking of bounties, you'll also be able to pick up your own to make money. There's also a ton of new weapons and new ways to explore the world that Sucker Punch says will make the game have more player freedom than any of their past titles. Also returning from the first game is the Kurosawa mode, which gave the game the look of the iconic director's films. Along with this though is 2 more director modes. There will be a Takashi Miki mode that creates a more combat focused feel, and a Cowboy Bebop director Shinichiro Watanabe mode made in collaboration with him that switches out the game's soundtrack with lo-fi beats. Ghost of Yōtei launches on October 2nd, and if you are interested, there will be 2 limited edition consoles for the game. This week sees the release of Donkey Kong Bananza, which seems to be getting some outstanding praise from review outlets already. The team behind the game has been going around giving some interviews on it, and some interesting tidbits have come out. The game actually came about when Mario Odyssey producer Yoshiaki Koizumi asked about the Mario 3D team if they could make a 3D Donkey Kong game instead. The title marks what the team hopes is a brand new branch for DK, very similar to Mario's 2D and 3D branches. And on DK's new look, this is actually where the redesigned look that he has in the Mario movie and Mario Kart World comes from, as the team wanted to capture the original drawing by Shigeru Miyamoto, and it looks really good in my opinion. I cannot wait to jump into Bananza tomorrow when it officially launches exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. Shigeru Miyamoto took to Nintendo social media pages this morning to officially announce the casting of Link and Zelda for the upcoming Legend of Zelda movie directed by Wes Ball at Sony. Bo Bragason will be taking on the iconic role of Princess Zelda, while Benjamin Evan Ainsworth will be portraying the iconic hero Link. While the pair have been in some notable projects, they seem to be fairly unknown actors, which does really excite me. While game adaptations have a very shaky history, I do think this is a step in the right direction, and I really hope the film is going to be something special. The Legend of Zelda movie is set to release on May 7th, 2027, and mark Nintendo's continued dive into Hollywood, as it seems they will also be making a Donkey Kong film at Universal. Super excited to see how all these projects turn out. And that wraps up this week's episode of the Game Ping. Lots of things happening in the industry, and hey, we even have a Pokemon Presents next week. There's also rumors of a Nintendo Direct around the corner, so make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon to be notified when new videos drop so you don't miss anything. I've been your host, Brandon Alanis, and I'll see you all soon.